The series One Piece is known for being long, like really long. In fact, as of recording this video, it's over 1,000 chapters in length. I started watching the anime back in 2022 and just recently caught up to the current arc Wano, which left me feeling a little empty, not gonna lie. With that being said, with this video I hope to gain some closure, and maybe give some people insight as to why this series is so special. And who knows, maybe I get a few more people into One Piece. In Japan on July 22nd, 1997, the first chapter of One Piece was released in the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine. It quickly became a fan favorite, so much so that only 2 years later, on October 20th, 1999, Toei Animation would release the first episode of the One Piece anime. One Piece has now become so popular, it's had several movies and adaptations, like the 4Kids version where Sanji has a lollipop instead of a cigarette. There are a few ways you can dive into the story of One Piece. As someone who has watched the anime and read some of the manga, I would recommend the manga. It's faster paced, the story while still being lighthearted has a more serious tone to it, which I enjoy more than the anime adaptations. The original anime suffers from bad pacing more than anything. As you get further into the anime, the pacing gets much worse. Some episodes only adapt 1 chapter or less. Compared to better paced anime that adapt 2 chapters, sometimes even 3 per episode, it feels like it's dragging on for no reason at points. If that's a deal breaker and reading isn't something you enjoy, then One Piece could be a good option for you. One Piece is the original anime with all the unnecessary filler cut out and edited to be closer to the manga's pacing, although it's only the sub, so you would need subtitles to watch, unless you speak Japanese. With all that out of the way, I can explain the world of One Piece and why it's so interesting. First off, this part's gonna have some light spoilers about how the One Piece world functions. Sometimes a few details is all people need to get into this show, to be honest. However, if you want a completely blind experience, stop watching. The world of One Piece, or the planet One Piece takes place on, is divided into 4 quadrants, or more specifically 4 bodies of water: the North, East, South, and West Blue. These oceans are divided vertically by the red line, a giant landmass as you see here, and then horizontally by the Grand Line, a vast strip of ocean, which is considered to be the place Gold D. Roger, the king of the pirates, left his treasure, the One Piece. The nature of what makes this series so compelling is how unique the world is. If you were to show a random episode of this show to someone, they would have zero idea what's happening, and I think that's the biggest thing people like One Piece for. It's so different from anything reality has to offer, yet so relatable in its execution of theme and emotion, and One Piece covers some really heavy topics like slavery, war, and corruption, but it doesn't have to take itself too seriously to get across the themes it's trying to display. The writing in this series really builds on itself over time. Some of my favorite moments from the anime only became my favorites because of something that happens hundreds of chapters later. As stupid as it sounds to someone who hasn't watched this series, even after watching 1,000+ episodes, I still want more. More than a few things made me really fall in love with One Piece. The power system is one of the best in anime, with the world of One Piece being filled with strange devil fruits that grant whoever eats them amazing powers but takes away their ability to swim forever. Shrouded in mystery, nobody really understands the devil fruits or where they come from. Haki is another power used by only exceptional individuals in the One Piece world. Presumably chosen by God or given the power through sheer will alone, Haki is known to allow individuals to destroy mountains, see while blind, and even the power to force and bend people with their own willpower. The recorded history of One Piece goes back 5,000 years, so most of the lore has to be pieced together slowly as you go through the story, and it's incredibly rewarding. One of the biggest mysteries still left unsolved is the Void Century, a mysterious 100 years of missing history seemingly wiped off the face of the planet. There's also a lineage of different races that seem to all share a common ancestor of mysterious ancient moon people. The world government seeks to control as much of this world as possible, and most pirates seek freedom to live their dreams whatever they are, so you can imagine they end up fighting most of the time. However, One Piece makes it clear from an early point in the series that not every marine is bad and not every pirate is good. As corrupt as the government seems sometimes in One Piece, there's a lot of truly good characters with good intentions in the world government. It's this complicated mix of characters that makes the world feel alive. There's even a bird that delivers newspapers around the world so the characters get to hear more about other events. The bird also distributes bounty posters for the world government that show how much of a threat they see a character as. There isn't any power levels in One Piece, so you might not know exactly how powerful a character is. Having access to Haki or a devil fruit will boost a character's strength, but the only thing we can use to compare characters beyond that is bounty posters. It's only pirates that are given bounty posters, so it's hard to compare them to marines in terms of strength. That being said, the people with the 4 highest bounties are given the title Emperor of the Sea, and are recognized as a force powerful enough to halt even the world government. That means that in order to obtain the freedom most pirates desire, they have to at least be able to contend with an Emperor of the Sea. To help combat the 4 emperors, the world government implemented a 7 warlord system in which 7 very powerful pirates are given freedom to do as they please, as long as when the government calls on them to do something, they do it. Now that you understand how the world of One Piece functions and you're aware of the threat the four emperors pose to the world government, I can explain more in depth the characters, or more specifically the Straw Hat Pirate Crew, which are the main protagonists of One Piece. Their captain, Monkey D. Luffy, dreams of becoming the king of the pirates and getting the One Piece, whatever it may be. Roronoa Zoro, the first mate, a swordsman who wants to become the world's greatest. Nami, a thief and a great navigator who dreams of making a map of the entire world. Usopp, the sniper god who dreams of becoming a brave warrior of the sea. And Sanji, the cook who wants to find the All Blue, which is rumored to be the place all four seas meet. These are the original 5 members of the crew from the first arc, after a long journey they enter the Grand Line together to find the One Piece. The rest of the Straw Hat crew joins later in the series after the first arc is over, and I don't want to spoil too much more than I already have, so you'll have to find out for yourself who the other members are. Not too long ago, the author of One Piece, Ichiro Oda, revealed that the series will be entering its final saga. Knowing Oda, this could still mean it's going to be years before the ending, because the last completed arc, Wano, took over 4 years to complete and was longer than 100 chapters. However, this does mean some of the biggest secrets still untold in One Piece will start to be explained, one chapter at a time. So these next few years really are your last to get into this series before it ends and the mystery is solved forever. I'm in the middle of reading One Piece for the first time, and it's really revised my interest for the series. I decided not to read it digitally and opted to buy the physical copies, more specifically the Omnibus 3-in-1s. If you didn't know, collecting every volume of One Piece manga gets really expensive. Buying all 100 plus individual volumes is going to cost at least $1,000. I went for the cheaper 3-in-1 route, and I should be able to collect the whole series for close to half of that. But I'm really enjoying the manga so much more than the anime. I didn't notice this as much in the anime, but Ichiro Oda's writing really gets better every chapter. It blows my mind how good this series is. I read every chapter with a giant smile on my face. It's just a good vibe in general, and the world keeps my interest. It doesn't feel like the author is introducing plot points to keep the story going longer for the sake of it. One Piece really is a story deserving of 1,000 chapters or more. Every new mystery that gets revealed gets me hooked that much more, and I can't wait to see how it's going to end, even if that means the end of the vibe. It's true that good things don't last forever. I wish One Piece would, but I know it can't. The story needs to be completed for the sake of everyone who loved the world and died before it could finish. And sadly, another amazing author, Akira Toriyama, responsible for creating the Dragon Ball anime series and for inspiring the newer generation of artists, as well as anyone who read his work, passed away while recording this video. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I own every volume of the original series and the Dragon Ball Z series. It really would be a shame if the author of One Piece for some reason couldn't finish, so as much as I hate that it's ending, I know it needs to happen. I hope this video convinced you to give One Piece a try, or just entertained you at all. If you want to see more content from me, let me know in the comments, and maybe give me some ideas. Special thanks to Dead Presidents for helping me out with a few portions of this video. This was my first attempt at editing anything. He was a huge help, and I hope it turned out good. Anyways, that's that.